particular privilege of presenting today's speaker. So please join me in giving a warm St. Ambrose welcome home to the presiding bishop and primate of the Episcopal Church, the Most Reverend Michael B. Curry. Welcome home.
Celebration of 150 years of faithful following of the way of Jesus of Nazareth through St. Ambrose Church in this diocese. It's a blessing to see my compatriot in crime, Bishop Ann Hodges Cobble, who's really not here. You think you see her. She's on sabbatical leave. But you don't see her right here. Good to be with her and Congressman Price, and I'm not saying anything political, but may his tribe increase. and to be with your clergy, but let me start with Deacon Kim. It's just good to have her back. I remember ordaining her years ago, and then she went off and went up north somewhere, and eventually found her way back, and Mother Joyce Cunningham sent her off to seminary and ordained her. I feel like I'm done saying. And then, last but not least, Father Jamon Taylor.
Yes.
What a man.
Yes.
What a man.
Yes.
Y'all need to hold on to him. He's saying good now. He and all of your clergy and the lay leaders of this church and the people of this church, you have made a difference in the past, and by God's grace, you will continue to make a profound difference, not only in this, our beloved country, but in this, our beloved world. And I thank you for that leadership. I remember as a young priest serving in Winston-Salem back in the 70s, looking to St. Ambrose and Father Arthur Calloway, looking to him, who Bishop Frazier appointed him as one of my godfathers. We didn't have mentors in those days. They called them godfathers, both in church and in the mob. So it's good to be here. I hope you're glad to be here. Turn and tell that neighbor, I'm glad to be here. It is good to be here. Allow me, if you will, to say nothing new, and to say it and repeat it because it has been the core message that has been proclaimed from pulpit in St. Ambrose at either location. It has been proclaimed since its very beginnings. It was proclaimed in those hopeful days when the Civil War came to an end. Even with the tragedy of Abe Lincoln's assassination, the hope that arose in that period of Reconstruction. Even here in North Carolina and in this very diocese, congregations of black and white were created to worship together. These were days of hope, when Reconstruction meant that maybe black and white could learn to live together. Maybe former slaves and former slave masters might learn to dwell together in peace. Those days of Reconstruction saw founding of historically black colleges and universities like St. Augustine's here in Raleigh. Saw congregations of black and white in the Episcopal Church in Fayetteville and here. Started so that folk might worship the one God and creator of us all. But as things would happen, and as time goes on, and as the Bible reminds us, even in the book of Exodus, after Joseph had gained prominence with Pharaoh, and the Hebrew people found their fortunes enhanced, the Bible always reminds us there came to the throne of Egypt a Pharaoh who knew not Joseph. And it happened here. Reconstruction came to an end. The era of Jim Crow segregation began to raise its ugly head. Many of the accomplishments that had happened were rolled back in the tide of history. But as the old slaves used to say, trouble don't last always. And through one war and then a second war, soldiers went off and fought for freedom in foreign shores. And came home and asked the question, if we can fight for freedom over there, then we can fight for freedom here. But not with arms, not with might, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. Folks started talking about love again. That love would be a way to create freedom's highway. And in those tortured and troubled times of civil rights, when folk had to make decisions and march and stand up for what is right and what is just, soon old Jim Crow's walls of Jericho came tumbling down when Joshua fought the battle of Jericho. And soon, wonderful things began to happen. Congressman Price knows what I'm talking about. He knows that in the Congress of the United States, housing legislation, equal housing, Voting Rights Act, y'all help me son, Civil Rights Act, another Civil Rights Act. Over and over again, America began to look like America again. Amen. And the hope of a new Reconstruction created new possibilities. But it's salutary to remember, as the book of Exodus reminds us, before the days of Moses, there will always come to the throne of Egypt a Pharaoh who knows not Joseph. I'm not being political, I'm just being biblical. And so the progress that had been made can be partially, though not completely, rolled back. And once again, St. Ambrose and churches like it must lift up the blood-stained banner of love again and march forward, not in complicity, not being duped, not giving in to the ways of hatred in the world, standing for what is just and good and decent and loving and godlike. Now that wasn't a sermon. That was what they call prolegomena. That was a prayer. But I'm not going to keep you long. I learned at a wedding I was at recently, you got to keep it short. But a text that made me hopeful is this one. It comes from 2 Corinthians, and you've heard it before, 2 Corinthians in the 5th chapter, where the Apostle Paul says this, and I quote, the reason I'm standing here is because the light of Christ is coming through the window. The Apostle has written, for the love of Christ, did you hear that? The love of Christ urges us on. Because we are convinced that one has died for all, therefore, in a sense, all have died in him. Died in him so that those who live in him might no longer live for themselves alone, but for him who died and rose again for us. Therefore, from now on, we regard no one from a human point of view. Even though we once knew Christ from a human point of view, we know him thus no longer. For if anyone is in Christ, there is a new creation. The old has passed away. Everything has become new. The old has passed away. Everything has become new. Because the love of Christ inspires us and urges us on. Love is the way. It is the way on mountaintop, and it is in the way of the valley. It is the way in the midst of a civil war, and in the midst of a joyful reconstruction after that war. It is the way through the Jim Crow variations that may occur in history. And it is in the way of a new day when hope springs alive again. Love is the way. If you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe Prime Minister Winston Gladstone. He's apparently said this first. He was in the 19th century. I didn't hear him say it. But I did hear when Jimi Hendrix said it. And Jimmy and the Prime Minister said it this way. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, then the world will know peace. Amen. But it's power in love. Power to lift up and to liberate. Power to set the captive free. Power to bind us together. Power to heal our brokenness. Power to give us that balm in Gilead that we need in this country and in this world right now. St. Ambrose, we need y'all to proclaim that love and that way of love and to live it until that love is the law of the land. It's power in love. Now, when you get home, I want you to read 2 Corinthians 5. And I know folks don't think Episcopalians read the Bible, but I know y'all do. As soon as you get home, I want you to open that Bible. Dust it off, fast forward to the New Testament, 2 Corinthians 5, and there you will see an incredible, I think it's a stunning passage where the apostle at one point says, it is the love of this Jesus of Nazareth. It is the love that he teaches us about, that it inspires us. It urges us. Actually, the old King James says, it compels us. This love inspires, impels, compels us to move forward. And when it does that, folk who thought only about themselves start to think beyond just themselves. When it does that, we don't look at folk the way we used to look at them as just ordinary folk. When it does that, we don't see immigrants as other. Help me somebody. I'm not being political, just biblical. When this love inspires us, compels us, urges us on, Paul then says, anyone in Christ like this love is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. A new heaven, a new earth, a new you, a new me, a new America, a new world. Love. Amen. Oh, this love is the way. Yes. I would dare to suggest, in fact, it is the only way. There is no other way. Now I'm going to get in trouble for what I'm about to say. That's okay. I'm convinced that when Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father but by me, that wasn't about what religion you're a member of. That was about what way are you following. Are you following the way of love? That's what he's talking about. He wasn't talking about exclusion. He was talking about inclusion. Love is the way. It's the only way. I was, as you know, I was at a wedding a few months ago. It was a nice little affair. And you know, I have to tell you the truth, the honest God truth. One thing I was nervous about was, don't pick your nose. Because I just knew the camera would be right on me just at that one moment. But afterward, I really didn't know what was going on, because after the service was over, and I went, Archbishop of Canterbury, we went to the reception, and it was a nice little reception. And after the food was really good, I have to say. Anyway, after the reception, I went with the Archbishop to St. Albans Cathedral for a youth rally with 1,000 kids. We were there until 10 o'clock at night. So I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that anybody, as far as I knew, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, Fox, and CNN had all tuned up the commercial when I got up to preach. I didn't know if anybody really had seen it. So when I got back here, TMZ met me. And I have to tell you, I don't think I've heard of them, but I don't really know a lot about them. But anyway, they met me and they said, well, would you come on our show later on? I said, well, sure. Communications people at church that are going crazy. No, don't say yes to everything. Just say yes. So anyway, I went on and finally did one of the shows, and it was very interesting because they asked me a question that nobody had asked me up to that point. And only young people had asked me the question. They asked, we really do like what you said about love. And we really do want to believe it. But can it really work? Lord have mercy, I just looked at Jim Forbes. Go ahead, Dr. Forbes. Go ahead. The master preacher himself. Let me tell you, taught me about this. But can it work? And they pushed me back to thinking more deeply. And I remember answering them then, and I've been living with this since then. I said, not only can it work, but it is the only way that will ultimately work. If you think of love merely as a sentiment, then it doesn't make sense. To be sure, love is a sentiment. There's nothing wrong with that. But the truth of the matter is, love only works ultimately when it moves beyond being a mere sentiment to being a profound commitment. When love is a commitment not to live, as St. Paul says in 2 Corinthians 5, for self alone. Love is about living for the good and the well-being of others, not just myself. Love, real love, is unselfish, selfless, sacrificial living. And when we live that way, brothers and sisters, that's a game changer. That's a game changer for all of us. That's a game changer for this world. And I realized it when I was preaching that sermon. And I had to keep it. At first, they told me I had 3 minutes. It's true. And Archbishop Canterbury got in, and he said, you got to give brother a little bit more time than that. And so he thought 5 minutes would do it. Then we got to the rehearsal, and I talked to the director, and she said, how long are you going to preach? I said, well, I talked to the Holy Spirit about that. She said, well, we don't have the Spirit here that often, but... And she said, approximately how long will the Spirit take? I said, can you give me 10? And they said, she said, that'd be good. We'll have the choir ready to sing soon after you finish. So the 10, again, they're on the metric system there. So when you convert it to the English system that we use here, then you got 10 becomes 13 or 14 or 15. But as we were there, I began to realize that the balm in Gilead, and I had to correct myself because I said balm, and I realized all of the equivalent of Secret Service folks, they tried to and that's why I had to insert healing balm in Gilead. I said, Lord have mercy, this translation from English to English is tough. Realized that the old slaves singing, there is a balm in Gilead, they understood it. Because think back on what they said. At one point they said, sometimes I feel discouraged. Oh, right now a whole lot of folk are feeling discouraged. Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my life's in vain. But then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Then there is another verse. And I love this one. This is perfect for us as Episcopalians. If you cannot preach like Peter, and you cannot pray like Paul, just tell the love of Jesus. How he died to save us all. There it is, I realized, right there, they grasp it. This love of Jesus is what the cross is about. This love of Jesus is what the crucifixion is about. Jesus did not give up his life to appease an angry deity. That's theological nonsense. Do not believe, you don't worship an angry and a mean God. No, that's not what, Jesus did not die because God was ticked off at y'all. If God was ticked off at y'all, don't you think the Lord can find you? No, he didn't die for that reason. He didn't die because anybody made him do it. He walked that lonesome valley because that's what love does. Love is not about the self, but will even, if necessary, give up its life for the good and the welfare and the well-being of others. Jesus said it this way: greater love has no one than this, but that they give up their life for their friends. You want to know what love looks like? It's those first responders, chief. Your police officers, firefighters, EMTs, who rush into burning buildings to save folk they don't even know. That's love. You want to know what love looks like? It's that young woman, Malala, in Pakistan, writing and working that young girls might learn to read and write, and a fanatic shooting her. You want to know what love looks like? Don't ask me. Ask Mahatma Gandhi. Giving your life to set a Catholic free. You don't believe me? Ask the Dalai Lama. You don't believe me? Ask Desmond Tutu. You don't believe me? Ask Martin. Ask Fannie Lou Hamer. You still don't believe that? Ask Jesus. Oh, there is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Love is not a sentiment. It is a commitment. It is a decision daily to get up and live and walk love's highway. And let me tell you something. It will change your day. Oh, when you get to work. So you know where I'm going. You get over to the water cooler or the coffee machine, and somebody says, I got something to tell you about so-and-so. You got to stop and say, now what does love look like here? And you may not be listening to that same gospel. Or when you're driving on, what do we got? 40? Yeah, let's just do 40. Lord Jesus, driving on 40, and that person gets in the car, and they cut in front of you, and you roll down your window, and you want to speak in sign language. Before you begin to speak, you make sure you give them the peace sign. What does love look like in my life? Love is unselfish. Love is selfless. Love is sacrificial. And love is the only way we will heal our divides and we will save this nation and this very world. Oh, I'm not talking about just sweet by and by now. I want to get to heaven too. And I need to hope to see some of y'all there when I'm there. but right now we're here. And we need some love. But if you still don't believe me, let me let Jesus make the case, and then I'm going to sit down. A lawyer came up to Jesus, actually several times. Jesus had a lot of conversations with lawyers. When I was a parish priest, I'll tell you, I used to spend a lot of time with morticians. And I remember one time, a mortician in Baltimore called the house. He called so often. Our oldest daughter, Rachel, answered the phone. And he said, so-and-so. They always had that undertaker voice. Yes, this is so-and-so. And it is my sad duty to inform about her. She said, hold on. And she hollered, Daddy, somebody died. I said, don't be hollering that to the phone. So I used to spend a lot of time with undertakers, helping folks go on to the great beyond. That's true. Then I became a bishop. And found myself bishop with attorneys and chancellors, and thank God for them. Then I became presiding bishop, and it was like legions of attorneys. Every time I get ready to open my mouth, they say, have you thought about this? No, I hadn't. I mean, they're all over the place, and thank God for them. Let me tell you something. Thank God for them. Well, Jesus spent a lot of time with lawyers. And on 2 occasions at least, a lawyer came up to him and prompted Jesus to talk about love. One is in Matthew's Gospel, Matthew 22. The other is in Luke 10. And in Luke 10, the lawyer comes up and says, Jesus, tell me something. What is the greatest law in the entire legal edifice of Moses? And Jesus said, well, you're the lawyer. They said, what does it say? And the Lord says, well, in Deuteronomy and in Leviticus, at one point Jesus says, quoting the Shema, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And it's first and great commandment. And then he said, but in Leviticus it says, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. You put these together and you've got the whole kit and caboodle. In fact, in Matthew's gospel he said, love God and love your neighbor. This is the whole law. In fact, everything, the whole law and the prophets, they hinge on this. In other words, that if you want to know what the will of God looks like, it looks like love. And if it's not about love, I don't care how holy and religious and sanctimonious and how many Bible passages are quoted. If it's not about love, it is not about God. Period. Exclamation point. And on this one occasion when the Lord came up and said, love God, love neighbor. Jesus says in Luke's version, you do that and you will live. You are not far from the kingdom. But this was the Lord that Jesus was talking about. And the Lord said, this is good, to love God and love neighbor. I like that, Jesus. But can we get a more precise definition of neighbor? Because see, it does matter when you have to determine who's going to cross the border. Of Israel, I'm talking biblical. You all get very confused. Not political, remember that. And so Jesus says, you want a definition of neighbor? In Luke 10, that's when Jesus says, well, let me tell you a story. See, Jesus isn't going to play his game. Let me tell you a story. So this Jewish brother was walking from Jerusalem to Jericho. And you know that road from Jerusalem to Jericho, there's not a lot of street lights there. Chief Brown, her police don't patrol over in that area. And so he walked in and the guy got mugged. He laying there on the side of the road, all beaten up and everything. And so, a leader of the religious community in Jerusalem comes by and sees him, but it's a dangerous road. There's no police around. I'm just going on and walks on by. Somebody else, a Levite, comes along, sees him, and says, I don't know, I just can't do it. And another one comes, and they leave the brother there in the ditch. And then a Samaritan, who is the other, if you will. For this is like the Israeli and Palestinian, okay? An Israeli on the road and a Palestinian comes along and actually helps him out. And Jesus said, now, who was neighbor to this dude? And the Lord had to say, well, the one who showed mercy, the one who helped him out. He said, well, go and do that likewise. Because that's what love looks like. Love does not know another as an other. Love just knows another as brother, sister, sibling, family member. Now that story, we all know the parable of the Good Samaritan. It's nice, but translate it into a more contemporary mode. And as I said, imagine an Israeli lying in the ditch. And some Israeli brothers pass on by and leave them. And it's a Palestinian helping somebody who comes along and helps out. Or imagine let me do it this way. A prominent member of the Democratic Party. I'm going to get in trouble now. Is laying on the road. I don't have to be specific, but she was a candidate for president. But anyway, and she laying on the road. And another prominent member of the Democratic Party comes by. Says, we could write some legislation about this situation, but I'm not going to get in directly right now. Walks on by. Like that old song where IPAs had that song. And then another prominent member, somebody from the Democratic National Committee, came by and saw that poor Democrat and minded and said, no, I'm going to just walk on by. Then another one came by. But then last, a prominent Republican. How high shall we go? Lives in a White House. I think his name is Donald. Donald Trump comes by and sees Hillary a prominent Democrat in the ditch. And Donald J. Trump goes over and says, I can't leave her here like this. And you know I'm making this up. I can't leave her here like this. And Donald Trump picks up the sister, takes her into town, just like in the parable, pours oil on the wounds, which would be the ancient equivalent of getting the Affordable Care Act to kick in, right? And make sure that all her health care is paid for. That's what love looks like. And see, love, and you can reverse the story. It can be Trump in the ditch and Hillary gets him out, because love knows no borders. Love does not know boundaries. Love does not make distinctions. Love sees another child of God, and if that child of God has need, then it is my obligation in the name of God to help out.
Amen.
Oh. Ambrose, we need you to proclaim that kind of love in our land. That kind of love that will help America to become America again. Not just for some, but for us all. The kind of love that will help us heal our planet, clean our air, our water, not just for ourselves, but for our children and our children's children. A love that will reach out to any brother, any sister, any sibling child of God, and reach out and touch somebody's hand. And do not fear. This love is the most powerful force in all of creation. Because love is of God. And those who love are born of God and know God. Because God is love. So if you cannot preach like Peter, and you cannot pray like Paul, you just tell the love of Jesus, how he died to save us all.
Yeah.